Hi, Facebook. This is Krisha. Just trying to set up my phone here. How is everybody today? Thank you for hopping on here live. Hello, hello. Today, what I wanted to talk about was what belly fat, exhaustion, bloating, low libido, anxiety, depression, not being able to shed that, those last 10 pounds or trying to do all the right things and still not being able to lose weight. What does this all have in common? So this is a really important live stream if you are suffering from all of these things and you are trying things like elimination diets or taking every supplement under the sun, you're working out harder, all of that. So this is really important information here that I'm going to share with you that isn't really being shared out there, and it's critical and it's really, really important. I help women who, have big goals. You want to go after something big, but things like this are holding you back in some sort of way. And I'm here to help you, navigate these things and move past it. So thank you so much for joining me live. And if you've got any questions, as I'm on this live, please feel free to comment. If you like something that I've said, please feel free to like it and to love it. Send me some love. Send me some lovin'. Okay, so let's start here. So those symptoms that I mentioned at the beginning and that I put on here, that the belly fat, the stubborn weight that you just can't lose, doing all the right things and nothing is really shifting, right? Feeling exhausted all of the time, low libido, like how crappy is that, right? Having some sort of anxiety, depression, or whatever, and then maybe from that, there's some emotional eating. Maybe you're sitting, eating chips while watching Netflix or something like that. Maybe it's candy, maybe it's ice cream, whatever. These all have a underlying root cause, and I'm going to talk and share what that is with you here today. This isn't going to be a quick fix, take this supplement, eliminate carbs kind of bullshit live stream. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm a straight talker and I am here to speak the truth about what's really going on in our bodies, in our mindset, in our soul. And it's really when we're focusing on all of those things at the same time that we can finally get the results that we want. We can start to feel better. We can start to finally release the weight that we know that you no longer want and have more energy and reduce these symptoms. So earlier today, I was planning on doing this live stream today anyway. But I did see somebody posting just on Facebook that she was feeling exhausted. What can she do about it? And I saw everybody kind of like being helpful and posting, you can take B vitamins, you can take this supplement, you can take this ISA, whatever. And I came in there and I said, well, I'd rather see you find out what the root cause of your exhaustion is, and then you can do what you need to do in order to, help that exhaustion. Anything that you do when you have these kinds of symptoms, if you're just reaching for elimination diets or you're just reaching for supplements or whatever, and you haven't really figured out what's really going on, you're just putting a Band-Aid on Niagara Falls. You're not fixing the problem, right? That's why when you do something like a Whole30 and you feel really great on it, and then you stop doing that and you go back to like having regular food again, you feel like shit still because you have not addressed what's really going on underneath, right? You haven't addressed what's going on in the root cause. This is considered functional medicine, functional nutrition. If you've heard that term before, that's what this is. It's not that surface layer. This is going deeper. So what I wanted to do today was take a look at 3 hormone tests I did on my clients. And I want to show you what this root cause is for the majority of women. And if you're a man watching this, chances are if you're having these symptoms, chances are that this is an issue for you too. Your hormones will just be slightly different than a woman's hormones in terms of what might be out of balance. Your symptoms might be slightly different, but the root cause could potentially be the same. So now this is based on the type of women that I work with primarily. So the type of women that I work with are, A-type driven business women, entrepreneurs, like the the go-getter type woman, never gives herself a break, very little self-care, putting everybody else first. And that's the type of woman I work with. So these are typical symptoms of women who are like that. So if that's you and you're watching, pay attention. All right, so what we've got here, I gotta do this so that you can't see the person's name, obviously, because confidentiality reasons. So this is a saliva, I'll just explain what this is first before hiding my face, because it's so gorgeous. So this was a saliva hormone test that I ran. I'm gonna show you 3 different ones, although they're not so different. So this first one, her symptoms were bloating. So with her, I also did a zonulin and food sensitivity test. Exhaustion, low libido, that sucks, belly fat, and slight anxiety, okay? So these were her symptoms. This is why she came to me in the first place, right? And, oh, this is gonna be a little awkward. Okay, I can see now. So what you're looking at here, this is a cortisol test. And if you don't know what cortisol is, I'll quickly run through with you what it is right here. We have glands on top that sit on top of our kidneys called our adrenals. And in our adrenals are hormones that get pumped out when we are in stress, okay? So, oh, hey, Camelita. Hey, wow, there's a lot of live people on here. That's awesome, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Give me some hearts, ask some questions if you've got any. I'll try to come back and answer any of the questions. Okay, so anyway, back to the adrenals. So what happens with your adrenals is when you are, say you're in a car accident or something happens and you're jarred, what happens is there's a signal that goes from your brain to your adrenals, and that releases adrenaline. And then the adrenaline is that pump, that get up and go, that thing that makes you go, run or freeze or whatever, or fight. What happens when you're in a chronic stressed state, right? Which, probably everybody watching this is in that state, because that is just the world we live in nowadays. We can't get away from our phones, work. Like, if you have kids, it's just another layer. Like, there's just so much shit going on all the time, right? And so we're in this overstimulated society, and it's no wonder we're just chronically stressed. And there is stuff that you can do about it, so we're going to talk about that later. So it's not something that you just live with, right? Because this is what happens when you do. So after the adrenaline is released, basically cortisol kind of takes over. And when cortisol is constantly flushing through your body, a lot of shit goes down. Okay, it affects your immune system. You gain weight around your belly specifically. You become exhausted. Lots and lots of symptoms, okay? Mainly the ones that I was just talking about. And from that place of constant pumping out, constant stress, what ends up happening is your adrenals can become depleted. And this is what you may have heard of as adrenal exhaustion. Okay, so if any of you are in the natural space or have been around, or maybe you've experienced this yourself, it sounds totally like me, Joanne. Okay, yeah, well then pay attention, because there's a lot of information in here that will be really helpful for you. Anyway, so yeah, adrenal exhaustion, that's a tough one. And once you get to that point, I'll tell you right now, it takes a really long time to undo that, okay? And no amount of food elimination, no amount of popping pills is gonna be what you need in order to sort that out. I've been doing this a really long time. I've worked with hundreds of women. I know that for a fact, and that is why I don't focus so much on that with my women anymore. Instead, we focus on some other things. So we're gonna get to that. All right, so let's go back. So this is a better side for me to look at here. What this is like I said, this is a saliva test, okay? Just double checking you can't see her name anywhere. And so she tested morning, noon, afternoon, and night, okay? So the green represents like the normal reference range, which means that you should really be somewhere like kind of like in the middle, maybe like, you know, whatever, in the middle would be really great. That would be ideal. You can see this woman is pretty low. Holy shit, she's in the red. Pretty low, okay? This is exhaustion right here, okay? This is when you are so incredibly low. This is like that 3 o'clock slump, right? Or 5 o'clock slump, whatever you want to call it, right here. This is when maybe you're reaching for a coffee. This is when you want to like scream, pull your hair out and just say, fuck, I can't do this anymore, right? But you keep pushing and you keep pushing and you keep pushing and you keep pushing because you're an A-type driven woman. Not that I know anything about this. Anyway, this is the science, the test, it doesn't lie, okay? This is the cause for those symptoms, all right? So this prolonged exposure to stress is what the cause is, in part, to bloating, exhaustion, low libido, belly fat, and the anxiety that she had, okay? It's not that simple, but I'm not going to go into all the complicated hormones involved in this. That's all you need to know. Don't believe me? Let's look at the next one. Symptoms: hot flashes, restless and bad sleep, holding on to fat despite working out like a mofo, low libido, there it is again, anxiety and depression. Let's look at this, okay? Same again, almost the same person. I promise you it's not the same person, right? We've got, you know, not too bad in the morning. Hers was higher than the other woman. And then we've got low, and look at how low she is here, right? Like this is flat out, I can't function anymore and I want to go to bed at 8 o'clock. That's what that is, okay? Then we've got this woman here. Symptoms: digestive issues, weight she can't lose, wacky menopause, food sensitivities, anxiety, depression, low libido, fatigue, and exhaustion. Noticing a pattern here? Sorry for all the scribbles on this one, but same again, not too bad. She wasn't too bad in the morning, but then as the day goes on, sorry, is this not perimenopause related? For some of these women, it could be, yes. So what happens with, some of these women are in that age bracket, Sarah. So, but what happens is the symptoms are exponentially worse when you have had chronic stress for years leading up to menopause. And the reason why is because your adrenals not only, yes, Sarah, I'm not going into all of that. I'm not going to go into all of the hormones and all that kind of stuff in this live stream because that's not the point of this live stream. But if you want to talk to me about that offline, yeah, there is a big connection to estrogen, progesterone, and all of that. So I can't show you the other side of these tests because it has their confidential information on it, but it also tests estradiol, progesterone, DHEA, cortisol, and testosterone. And for each of these women, those levels are completely off and too high, too low, whatever. So that's where the specific protocols for these women come in, okay? So this is more generic information for the masses, all right? But great question. Anyway, so just about how it's related is the adrenals basically kind of in a nutshell, take over for the ovaries when we're going through menopause. And if your adrenals have been like basically exhausted from stress for years and years and years, let's face it, you're a woman, probably that's what's happening. And they're technically supposed to like kind of take over and start to smooth the transition when your ovaries start to reduce. So the adrenals are supposed to take over, not at the same extent. You know what? I don't, well, I'll show you my cortisol still, but I'm not sure where it is right now. And that has all of this information in there. Maybe I'll do another live stream on that. But anyway, okay. So I hope that makes sense. This makes so much sense. Okay, awesome. So that's science. Like that is actual real tests done on real live women. All right. And you can see that they all have pretty much the same symptoms. And they're all very similar personality type women. They all have very similar lifestyles. And leading up to this and in it, and you can see that their cortisol levels are really, really low, meaning that they're just crashing out near the end of the day, okay? So, you know, while I did obviously recommend some supplements and we looked at food and stuff like that, for the most part, the women who work with me, they know what to eat. You guys know what to eat already. You already know kale's good for you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to talk about that very much because there's already an understanding. There's enough information out there about what's healthy and what's unhealthy. You know pop's not good for you. You just know it, right? And so the bigger question is, why aren't you doing it, right? So that's a behavior thing, and that's a big thing that I work on with my clients. It's the habits, it's the sabotages, right? It's all of that kind of stuff that we work on together. And so, you know, while the food is important, absolutely, and the right supplements, and again, this is where this testing and getting super customized comes in, right? Because for each of these women, I did not give them the same protocol in terms of supplements because each of them had different hormones that were out of whack. So there's a bigger picture here than what I'm going through, obviously. And like I said before, my clients are super busy A-type women. So what I help them do to manage this, in addition to the supplements and the things that I talked about, is finding ways in which to, I like to call it, bringing calm in the chaos, right? So like I said, you're A-type, you're a go-getter, you probably love your job, love your business, you know, you don't want to give that up. But you're just feeling on the brink and something has to give somewhere. And so what I'm really good at is helping people figure out what that thing is and how we can like poke it into your life in a way that's going to help you feel calmer, more centered, more in control, help calm this shit down, and yet not make you feel like you're depriving yourself and being taken away all the fun things that you're enjoying doing, like working or building your business. Like, I get it. I'm an entrepreneur. I love my business. And you don't have 3 hours a day to meditate, right? And you might even think meditation is a bit of a foreign concept as well. So it's going to be hard. So what I really want to encourage you to do is to look at two things. I want you to look at the root cause of what's really going on in your body. And just as a little aside for anybody who has the bloating and was like, okay, well, what the hell does this have to do with bloating? Bloating is... So our digestive system is hyper connected to our nervous system, all right? The two go hand in hand. And anybody that I've treated for serious digestive, it is true. I worked with this woman. She's very tuned into the root cause. Yeah, we did a lot of that, right, Sarah? Anyway, so the digestive system is really connected to your nervous system, okay? So again, this is why when it comes to digestive work with my clients, it's not just, okay, let's just take out all these foods and like, away you go. Nah, it doesn't work like that. Not on my watch anyway. It's way more sophisticated than that. And there is a lot of this other mindset work that needs to happen at the same time. Because if you don't do both things, then the symptoms are just going to constantly be there, right? Like there's no point in doing something in one area if the other area is still completely out of whack, right? If you have absolutely no skills or no know-how, or I'm struggling with the word here, but if you have no sort of ritual, I like to call them relentless rituals, right? If you have no ritual that is bringing you back into calm and behavior and habits and things like that, to change your mindset around a lot of these things that are causing these issues, then you can do Whole30 until the cows come home. But if you're watching this, I bet you have, and you're still experiencing symptoms, right? So really take a more holistic look at your life, at what's going on. And this is a big reason why I have never done any kind of quick fix program for people, because in my heart and soul, I know it doesn't work. It's not in service to you. And I would much rather work with you for a longer time, but get you results and have you feeling really good at the end of it and like a new woman. Like that's more my goal than watching you lose 30 pounds and then like regain it all by the end of the year or whatever, right? I want to set you up with the tools in order to be able to manage all of this on your own when we're done working together, which kind of makes it shitty for me because then I don't have repeat clients because they're all so awesome and do this on their own. So does anybody have any questions I've seen some of you commenting and likes and stuff, so thank you so much. I'm gonna conclude now. And because I feel like I've given you guys a lot of like the what, right? Like this is the information. This is what I want you to know, is that if you're struggling with these things, there's a root cause for it, and the root cause is likely some sort of stress related. And the stress comes from the 4 pillars that I talk about a lot, which is your psychology, right? So that's your mindset around things, your perception around stress, your self-care practices, your belief system, your oh my goodness, I've lost it. Anyway, no big deal. And then there's your priorities, right? So your priorities is what are you doing on a daily basis to connect you to the things that really matter to you, to connect you to yourself, to connect you to a calmer space within your body. And then there's your persuasion, which I talked about yesterday in my live stream, like who are the people in your life and where are your boundaries and all of that. So when you're focusing on those things, that's when you start to find a balance in all areas of your life. And you can see that it's so much beyond just, what foods you're having, like if you're eating kale or not, right? So if you're looking for an action and you're struggling with this, I'm going to ask you to book something with me. I'm going to ask you to really book a call with me. It's totally free. We can have a conversation, find out what's really going on. And I can usually tell definitely within an hour, I will know really what's going on with you, and where to sort of direct you. Okay. And I think that would be the best thing in service for you. And this does mean you're going to have to take some sort of action. This does mean that you're going to have to like find a time and book it and get on a call with me. But it's either that or continuing to struggle, right? Like what makes more sense? And you're a smart woman, so make the right decision for yourself and for your body. And don't worry, it's not going to be some pitch fest where it's like, you got to work with me. It's whatever. Like, let's just get you on a plan to feeling better, especially if you've been trying a whole bunch of stuff and you're not getting anywhere. So I'm going to put a link in to book a call with me, and then we can just go from there. And for the first 5 people who book in, I'm going to offer a discount for these hormone testing. Okay. The hormone tests are only available in Canada and the US. Unfortunately, I can't do it outside, like in Europe or anything like that. So if you are in Canada or in the US and you want to, take advantage of this offer, then definitely book in. There's no obligation. You don't have to. If at the end you're just like, nah, this isn't for me, that's cool. I don't care. But I will definitely offer a discount for the first 5 people who book in with me. And this is like life-changing because it really gives you a really clear idea of where you stand with your hormones and what's really going on, and then a clear plan forward on what to do about it, right? Specifically, without going to the health food store and buying another like $100 worth of supplements that just aren't helping you, or they help you a little bit, but they're not really. I mean, that was me a long time ago. I used to go to the supplement store all the time and buy a ton of supplements because I felt like shit all the time. This was me. I was this woman. I couldn't lose the weight. I had like lots of depression, anxiety, mood swings. I had no libido. I was just all over the place. I had bloating, like really bad IBS. There was a lot of shit going on in my body. And when I started to do these things, I practice what I preach. And when I started to do all of these things, my body just like really calmed down. And more importantly, I was able to bring in the mindset practices and the rituals that has really like, that's what changed my life. Like, yay, I lost the weight, but I'll tell you what, it's all this other stuff that I talk about that is what changed my life. And I'm so much happier now. You know, I'm much more fulfilled. I'm a lot calmer. I'm building a business and I'm not a ball of stress. Like, I bet you if I tested, I'd be probably pretty okay. Considering I'm running my own business. So, you know, this stuff works, and I'm living proof of it, and I practice what I preach, and I'm very passionate about this stuff. So let me help you. So book a call with me, and let's talk about what's going on with you. You're on this live stream for a reason, because you're resonating with the stuff that the symptoms that I talked about. And so if you are looking for a new approach, and you don't want to have to go on another diet, you're sick of them, you don't like them anyway, you love food, and you want a bigger, better approach that's not just focused on that, but that's focused on the whole, like, big holistic picture, then I'm your girl. I'm your woman. Not girl, I'm your woman. That's all I had to say. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. I decided to do this live stream on my personal page as opposed to my business page, and I'm glad I did, because a lot of people have watched this. So thank you so much. I really hope that this has been helpful and beneficial. And if you're watching this on the replay, and you have questions, then please feel free to write them out in here or send me a PM. Once this is loaded, like I said, I will put the link to my schedule as well. So if you want to have an appointment with me, then by all means, book yourself in. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. This is my last live stream for the week. I do extra live streams in my group on Mondays and Fridays as well, where I go like way deeper. How could I even go deeper than this? But I do. And yeah, so if you want to join my group, please do. You're more than welcome. Thank you so much, everybody. It's great chatting and seeing so many of you on here. And thank you for, wow, there's a lot of you on here. That's really awesome. Thanks for the likes and the hearts and all of that fun stuff. And yeah, I'm just looking at everybody who's joined. Thank you so much. That's awesome. All right, everybody. Mwah. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay cool, and I'll see you next time.